This is stunning. Hi everyone, welcome to 16 Figure Focus, and in this video we're going to take a look at the HotToys 1/4 scale Mark 6 from Iron Man 2. Look, if you have been following the channel for a while now, you will know that the Mark 6 is my favorite Iron Man suit. It's, not as iconic as the Mark 3 or the battle damaged Mark 85. I suppose you could argue though, it has some of the most screen time out of any suit. There's not a lot of suits that actually are introduced in one movie and then continue on to another movie. The Mark 6, while introduced in Iron Man 2, is the first time we saw a triangular shaped arc reactor when, Tony Stark obviously made that new element to kind of keep all the, the toxins, the piece of metal that was going into his heart at bay, and kind of cured himself. And that's when we first saw that triangular shaped arc reactor. This here, the Mark 6, it has the kind of, it has a lot of the traditional stuff from the pre-nanotech suits, a guy in a suit. I like that real chunky looking suit, but the leanness of it as well. It's not like as chunky as the Mark 3 or the Mark 7. I think that has a perfect blend of traditional looking Iron Man, but just that leaner suit with the arc reactor. I absolutely love it. Is it a triple threat? It is. Love the character Iron Man. I love the source material Iron Man 2. It's not the greatest movie out there. A lot of people I actually prefer Iron Man 2 to Iron Man 3. A lot of people prefer Iron Man 3 to Iron Man 2 and they see like Iron Man 2 is the weak point, but I actually prefer watching number 2. It's not the greatest movie ever, but it gave us some fantastic scenes, real 5-star stuff, like the scene when we first see the Mark 5 suit up from the suitcase on the Formula 1 track, or the kill box scene where you first see himself, Mark 6 and the Mark 1 Iron Man War Machine going back to back, like basically the setup here. The Mark 6 and the Mark 1 War Machine, in that kill box scene at the end, and fantastic looking stuff. So love the source material, love this character, and I love this particular version. Absolutely stunning. You probably sense a massive butt coming because it's quarter scale. I'm not sure if I'm going to get it. I mean, I have the Mark 6 there, so I think that's the first or second die-cast one. And then that Mark 6 that's coming with the gantry, I haven't pre-ordered that, but I'm still, I haven't ruled it out. The gantry is absolutely stunning, but it's a quick case of where am I going to display it. I think this looks amazing, but I already have the Mark 3 in quarter scale, and realistically with the quarter scales, my plan was to get 3 quarter scales, 1 DC, 1 Marvel, 1 Star Wars. I have the DC one. It's the Dark Knight Rises at quarter scale QS025. Yeah, basically the quarter scale of the DX19. Just a coincidence there, they're both actually coded 19. I have the Mark 3 right here. And now I would be open to getting the Star Wars one, but I'd have to wait. Maybe a Mandalorian, maybe Darth Vader. I'm going to see what happens. Maybe an Ahsoka, if it's from the Mandalorian. That's what bit of a caveat there. But anyway, I'm digressing, I'm going off topic. My point is, the vision was always to have 1 Marvel, 1 Star Wars, and 1 DC quarter scale, and then call it a day. But this one is really, really calling to me. It's absolutely stunning. It is my favorite Mark suit. I mean, come on, what's not to like? You've got the traditional kind of hot rod red and the gold battle damage, and the battle damage is stunning on it as well. We'll take a closer look at it. Some fantastic scenes as well, not just in Iron Man 2, but also in the Avengers. You've got to remember like that before you got the Mark 7 at the end of Avengers, this suit saw a lot of screen time. It's, when he first comes up and he finds Loki, and he basically kind of your move reindeer games, that kind of a scene where Loki's kind of kicking Cap's ass, and then Tony comes in, they essentially arrest him, and then that scene between does your mother know you're wearing his drapes, that kind of when he's Tony Stark is taking the piss out of Thor. But there's a lot of action there, and there's a lot of action then on the freighter as well, the Shield freighter, and what would you call it, aircraft carrier in the sky, I can't remember the name, but anyway, it got a lot of screen time. It looks stunning. It has a lot of accessories. It had a lot of kind of cool gadgets and stuff like that, and look, that Mark 6 is one of my favorite in my collection. What am I after doing here? And that Mark 6 is one of my favorite in my collection. So let's take a look at this. I don't have a price. I'd imagine this is going to be due for release sometime between Q4 of next year and Q1 of 2025. I know that the quarter scale Mark 4 that's on Sideshow, they go on the gantry, but I'm talking about the one just without the gantry, because of course you can buy the gantry on its own. You can buy the Mark 4 quarter scale with or without the gantry. But just The quarter scale Mark IV is $600, just under $600. So maybe bear that in mind. This is probably going to be in around that mark. Anyway, we're going to take a look at this. Yeah, so first of all, straight away, it looks absolutely stunning. I mean, this, I haven't really taken a look at this. I mean, obviously I've spent a lot of time looking at the Mark VI because it's up there. It is my favorite Iron Man suit. I've said that numerous times in this, but look, what's not to like here? You've got that traditional red and gold look for the Iron Man. That's, you know, that's what he looked in the comics, and that's kind of like what the Mark III had. But this is what I like about this. I love the triangular shaped arc reactor, and I also love this is a bit leaner. The chest on the Mark III is a bit rounder, whereas this is a lot, it's just significantly leaner on the torso area where I find. So I love the splash of silver that's on the biceps as well. Of course, you have these tiny, I'm just looking at on the right shoulder, you got the tiny micro rockets, kind of like the Mark III would have had for the Gamera scene. Then of course, and actually I'm looking at that now, and Justin was right. They did actually, HotToys, for the newly released 1/6 scale Mark III 2.0, they actually did put these rockets, these micro rocket launchers on back to front, because they're gold here, whereas when you put them on the Mark III, the golden parts, which should be forward, are actually facing back to front. So he's dead right about that. Actually, I thought maybe that's the way it was supposed to be, but nope. Then if you look at his left shoulder here, you got this other part that kind of is popping up on his left shoulder, has a few more rockets. Of course, you got the 2 wrist rockets, you got the laser as well, and even like if you can see on his left elbow, you can see some detail on that flap that's coming down, or even on the chest, like parts of it open up, revealing the blue beneath. Which look, this is only one photo. I love this design. I just think it is the slickest looking Iron Man. And then the battle damage parts. Now, the battle damage, I love battle damage, but sometimes, let's be honest, sometimes when it goes from product to prototype, it kind of loses a bit, and it can actually be a bit muted and a bit dulled down or softened and not as detailed. Like I know people give out about, say, the battle damage Mark 85, and even like people give out about this Mark 6 one here, but to be honest, look, the battle damage looks good to me. Would I prefer a bit more detail? Of course, and the detail on here is second to none. Let's just look at the left photo. So first of all, just look at the head sculpt alone. So you can see, obviously, there's a big scar over his left eye, and this is the funny thing about this, right? This battle damage is actually, this battle damage is specific to Iron Man 2, which this has been branded, whereas the Mark 6 behind me, it's the same kind of battle damage. The scar in the left eye, the kind of slash on the left part of his chest from the whiplashes, I know, electricity whips, whatever you want to call them. Even though the Mark 6 behind me is branded Avengers, which is a bit of a strange move. It had the Iron Man 2 battle damage. Now look here, this is, of course, I'm going to zoom in on this again. What am I doing? Yeah, it looks stunning, and it's unique to Iron Man 2. So the scar across the face looks great. The bullet holes down the right side of the chest, and then the left side of the arc reactor, you see that slash caused from the electrical whips. I can't remember, energy whips, whatever you want to call them, that Whiplash had, the Whiplash 2.0 had. The blue beneath is amazing. Even the one behind me here, you can see there is some blue light up. I've got them lit up with fusion reactors there. So you got the triangular shaped arc reactor. You can see the arc reactor inside the housing, and then there is some blue underneath the chest as well. And this is the blue. I really hope that that's not just Photoshop trickery, and that when it lights up, when you have the battle damage parts on, that you can actually see that. I just think that's stunning. Bravo, well done, HotToys. And this is interesting. Interchangeable battle damage parts. We've never really seen battle damage thigh parts. So we get a lot of stuff usually, if you get battle damage swap out parts, where let's say for the Mark III 2.0 that just released, typically you get 2 shoulders, faceplate, chest plate, and I think even like the Mark III quarter scale that I have here, it's the same kind of thing. Swap out shoulders and is it a chest plate and faceplate? I'm trying to remember. I think so, yeah. But like here, you're actually getting a thigh plate, which is interesting. Interchangeable battle damage swap out parts. That's a nice touch there. So you're getting the faceplate, the chest plate, the shoulder part, and the thighs as well. That's pretty damn cool. Of course, this was on Showcase. They showcased this, I think it was, I can't remember if it was this summer or last summer. We've definitely seen this at a showcase, and it had the battle damage swap out parts on. And I thought this was one that might have been destined for the graveyard, but I suppose with Iron Man, you can never really rule out stuff because they just keep going back to Iron Man. It must be selling. You know, obviously, he's one of the most popular characters in the MCU, one of the most popular characters in the comics. It's just I suppose it's a household name now, and you know, like, apparently it sells very well in all markets, but specifically the Asian market. Now, if we look here on the multiple LED light up areas, so the backs of the calves, you get that blue light. It's not just the eyes or the repulsors on the hands or the arc reactor. You're getting this blue light from the back of the calves, and then all these tiny little, see these little, it has the right arm here, and all these tiny little parts that just open up to reveal like little rockets and stuff like that. That's a nice touch. You got that blue light, and of course in the kind of the back flaps, the kind of air flaps from the back there, you have that as well. Just yeah, it is stunning. Now, so I don't have a price for you again, but the head sculpt looks great as well. And the thing about the head sculpt is, like, they're good at Robert Downey Jr., but I don't know if they've ever made one that was an absolute shrink ray. I actually really like the Mark 47 from Homecoming. I think that's a great sculpt. I don't think that gets enough love. But here, like, this is, I think it's a very, very strong likeness of Robert Downey Jr., but I don't think it necessarily is like a 10 out of 10. I'd put probably this maybe a solid 8, 8.5. Maybe a 9, but I wouldn't give it any higher than that. I don't think it's like, wow, this is flawless or anything like that, but I think it's pretty damn good. I believe it's the first quarter scale Iron Man with a full head sculpt that wasn't just the faceplate and the mask. I think in a lot of the other ones they've done like, did they do 2 versions of the Mark III? They've definitely done the Mark III because I'm looking at it. I think they did the Mark 42 from Iron Man 3, I believe. I'm trying to think what else did they do. They never did a Mark 7 or a Mark, this is the first Mark 6. I can't remember, but anyway, they my point is you have a full unhelmeted head sculpt, and it comes with separate rolling eyeballs functions. So interchangeable battle damage, swap out parts, multiple LED light up areas, swap out hands. So all these parts that like can swap out, like all these little compartments. So you got the rockets on the shoulders, 2 different types, the micro rockets and then the other ones. Then you've got a bunch of things like, say, like light up with the light, that pop out of the, say, the right hand with the light up parts as well. And of course the wrist rockets similar to the Mark III. Yeah, I look, even like what I love about this photo here on the right, this part where he's just standing there holding the helmet there. It's just a lean look. I really like the look of the chest, and where even the chest kind of angles up there in the middle. Just stunning. Yeah, absolutely stunning. Thing about the base now, they're doing this a lot recently. They've done this, say, with the Endgame Thanos. They've done it with the even like the Mark III behind me. A lot of these diorama bases, well, they look the business. It's kind of hard to pose the figure on it because the display space is so small that you nearly have to put 1 foot up, which is exactly what I've done with the Mark III behind. Yeah, this is fantastic. Yeah, like that. There you go. So you'd have one, you'd right foot flat down, the left foot then you'd have just resting on whatever it is. Is this, what is the base even? I haven't had a good look at it because I only saw it on my phone. All right, so these are bits and pieces, I presume, of the drones, or is this part of Whiplash 2.0? Yeah, it seems to be like drones and stuff like that. I like it though, and I believe I heard it lights up. I must have a read of it, but yeah, like this is, yeah, that's a pretty good sculpt, I gotta say. Like even the clean look looks completely different then because the battle damage is really, really detailed. So I like that too. Yeah, look, it looks like a completely different figure then nearly, because this is like just real classy looking. This is crisp. And see that the thigh plates are clean there as well. But then when they swap out, it's not just the faceplate or the chest. You've got the shoulders and the thigh armor. It makes a big difference. I think when they did the battle damage Mark 85, people were saying that a lot of the front was battle damaged well, even though it's softened, but there was nothing on the back. It was very clean. Yeah, this is great. So you're talking probably about 600 and something, I would imagine. I imagine with inflation, it's not going to be 595 like the Mark IV. I imagine it'll creep up just above maybe 615, 625, something like that. The hair sculpt, the hair looks really good as well. All in all, I think this is absolutely stunning. And I can't rule it out. I can't say straight out that I'm sold on this, but because it is the Mark VI, I just cannot rule it out. I think it would absolutely look stunning. Maybe you pick it up and then rotate, swap out the Mark III every now and then, or the Mark VI, or just put them up there next to each other. That looks great. That was great. Yeah, I really don't have anything bad to say about this. It's just put me in a position now where, like, that's so simple, absolutely stunning. I think I'd have to get fusions for this. It just looks that good lit up, especially with that blue and stuff. Yeah, look, that's the end of this video. This is absolutely stunning. My prediction is going to be, look, it's if the Mark IV quarter scale, which has just come out there a few months ago, is $595. I'd imagine this would be around the same, maybe slightly more expensive. things aren't going down, let's face it. It is absolutely a triple threat. Love the character, love the source material, and I absolutely love the Mark 6, my favorite armor. I suppose that's what's the 12th time I've mentioned that today. Hey, you're getting the point. I mean, what's not to like? You clean parts, you have swap out battle damage parts with the tie armor, which you haven't seen before. You got a full unhelmeted head sculpt with separate running eyeballs function. The first time they've done it, full unhelmeted Robert Downey Jr. in quarter scale. You got the light up parts in the eyes, the triangular shaped arc reactor, the repulsors, and all those blue bits underneath the chest and on the calves and around the wrists. Bunch of swap out weaponry and rockets and stuff like that. Pretty cool display base. Yeah, this is stunning. But the thing about it is, as much as I like this, even if I was to get it, even if I said, yeah, I'm absolutely going to get this, this is going to sit. Like quarter scales, a lot of 6 scale collectors don't want them. Like I like them, but I'm going to, like I said earlier on in the video, I want like 3, one DC, have that. It's my favorite Batman suit. And that's a thing actually, that nearly brings me to want to get this, because then I'd have my favorite, Iron Man suit in 6 scale and in quarter scale. And that's kind of nice as well, But yeah, but they sit because they're 6 scale or quarter scale. A lot of 6 scale collectors just collect 6 scale figures. They don't want the quarter scales. They're more expensive. The shipping's more expensive. If you're paying sales tax or customs, that's gonna be more expensive. So like it might be $600 when it goes on Sideshow, but realistically with shipping and everything and sale, you could be paying $750, $800. If you're paying customs in Ireland, forget about it. Okay folks, that's the end of the video. If you want to support the channel, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment. Let me know if you're picking this one up or not. You can also follow me on Instagram and on X. That's it. That's the end of the video. See you in the next one. Good luck.